On a shelf in Down House, Kent, resides a volume of profound historical significance, Charles Darwin's personal annotated copy of his own magnum opus, On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life, first published in 1859. It is not merely a reader's edition, it is a scientist's battlefield, a laboratory of the mind, where the author himself wrestled with the implications of his own revolutionary ideas. Within its pages, beyond the printed text, lies a hidden conversation, a layer of thought not intended for public consumption. This is where our investigation begins, with the subtle, yet persistent presence of marginalia. These are not the casual scribbles of a reviewer or the enthusiastic underlines of a supporter. Instead, scattered throughout the text are peculiar symbols, short sequences of letters, and cryptic annotations that defy immediate comprehension. The question arises, what do these markings signify? Are they personal shorthand, reminders, or something far more deliberate and secretive? The very act of encoding suggests a desire for privacy, a need to shield certain thoughts from prying eyes, even as the book itself was a public declaration. This hidden layer invites us to look closer, to peel back the surface of the known narrative. The challenge of deciphering these annotations was undertaken by scholars, most notably Dr. David Ritchie, who meticulously examined Darwin's personal library and correspondence. He identified numerous instances of these enigmatic marks, noting their consistent appearance across specific passages within the book. The patterns suggested a deliberate system, not random doodling. This systematic approach is what transformed a curiosity into a compelling historical puzzle, demanding a forensic examination of Darwin's intellectual life and his methods of engagement with his own work. To understand the context, we must recall the intellectual climate of Victorian England. The publication of Origin of Species was met with both awe and outrage. Its ideas challenged deeply held religious and philosophical beliefs, sparking debates that raged in drawing rooms, lecture halls, and the pages of scientific journals. Darwin, a man of science but also a product of his time, was keenly aware of the societal and personal repercussions his theories could unleash. He had already suffered the loss of a daughter and understood the fragility of life, making his stance on evolution a deeply personal one. Darwin was not a solitary thinker in the modern sense. He corresponded extensively with a network of fellow naturalists, geologists, and thinkers across Britain and the continent. Figures like Joseph Hooker, Charles Lyell, and Alfred Russel Wallace were crucial intellectual allies, providing feedback, challenging assumptions, and sharing observations. These exchanges, though often robust, were generally conducted in the open, through letters and published works, forming the public discourse of scientific advancement. However, Darwin also guarded certain aspects of his thinking. He famously delayed the publication of Origin for years, driven by a fear of public reaction and a desire for more complete evidence. This inherent caution, this awareness of the sensitive nature of his subject matter, may explain his inclination towards private notation. It was a way to process complex ideas, to explore uncomfortable questions, and perhaps to shield himself from the potential storm his published words would inevitably create. The specific markings in Darwin's copy of Origin are believed to be a form of shorthand, a personal cipher. Some have speculated they relate to his own doubts, his anxieties about the reception of his work, or perhaps even sensitive personal matters he wished to keep entirely private. The symbols are not random, they appear systematically, suggesting a deliberate encoding system known only to Darwin himself. This private language transforms the book from a published treatise into a deeply personal document. The painstaking work of scholars like Ritchie involved comparing these annotations with Darwin's known correspondence, his private notebooks, and even his diaries. They sought to find a Rosetta Stone, a key to unlock the meaning behind the symbols. This process requires immense patience, a deep understanding of Darwin's vocabulary, and an awareness of the scientific and social issues of his day. It is an act of intellectual archaeology, reconstructing a lost dimension of a monumental figure's thought. One interpretation suggests that these coded notes were Darwin's way of marking passages that either deeply troubled him or confirmed his most radical thoughts, areas ripe for further contemplation or potential refutation. The act of coding these specific points served as a private flag, a signal to himself to revisit these ideas without the pressure of public scrutiny. It allowed him to engage with the most controversial aspects of his theory in a way that was both rigorous and self-protective, a sophisticated form of intellectual self-governance. The implications of these coded marginalia are significant for our understanding of Darwin's intellectual process. They reveal a man far more introspective and perhaps more conflicted than his public persona might suggest. While Origin presented a confident, well-argued case for evolution, these private notations hint at the internal dialogues, the lingering questions, and the emotional weight that accompanied such a paradigm-shifting endeavor. This personal dimension humanizes the icon of science. Consider, for example, the passages dealing with human evolution, a subject Darwin only broached cautiously in Origin and explored more fully later in The Descent of Man. His private annotations on these sections might offer insights into his earliest, most tentative thoughts on the implications of his theory for our own species, thoughts he was perhaps not yet ready to articulate publicly. The coded marks act as signposts to these nascent, potentially controversial, intellectual territories within his own mind. Furthermore, the coded marginalia could represent Darwin's engagement with specific critiques or alternative theories circulating at the time, ideas that he may have found particularly compelling or dangerous. By encoding his responses, he could acknowledge these points without publicly validating them or giving them undue prominence. It was a method of private intellectual triage, allowing him to process and categorize the vast array of feedback and counter-arguments his work generated. The existence of such private notation also speaks to the immense pressure Darwin felt. The scientific community, while often supportive, was also competitive and critical. The public, swayed by religious dogma, could be hostile. Encoding his most sensitive thoughts was a form of self-preservation, allowing him to continue his groundbreaking work without being unduly swayed or silenced by external pressures. It was a shield for his intellectual vulnerability. The coded marginalia in Darwin's Origin are not merely a curiosity. They are a testament to the complex interplay between public science and private thought. They remind us that even the most confident scientific pronouncements are often the product of deep, sometimes troubled, internal deliberation. Darwin's private language transforms his personal copy of Origin into a unique historical artifact, offering a window into the mind of a genius grappling with revolutionary ideas. The decipherment of these notes remains an ongoing process, a subtle but important expansion of our knowledge of Darwin's intellectual journey. Each symbol, each coded phrase offers a potential clue to a deeper understanding of his motivations, his reservations, and the true scope of his private reflections. These hidden annotations ensure that the study of Darwin's work is never truly complete, always offering new avenues for discovery. Ultimately, Darwin's coded marginalia serve as a powerful reminder of the human element in scientific discovery. They show us that behind the grand theories and the published papers lie individuals navigating complex ideas, personal anxieties, and societal expectations. The archive, in its quiet persistence, holds these secrets, waiting for careful eyes to bring them back into the light of understanding. The study of these private annotations enriches our appreciation for the meticulous, often lonely, process of scientific inquiry. They underscore the fact that even groundbreaking thinkers engage in a constant internal dialogue, a process of questioning, refining, and sometimes shielding their most nascent thoughts. The marginalia are not an addendum. They are an integral part of the narrative of scientific evolution itself. By examining these coded messages, we gain a more nuanced portrait of Charles Darwin, not just the public intellectual, but the private thinker wrestling with the profound implications of his own discoveries. The secrets held within the margins of his most famous work offer a deeper, more intimate glimpse into the mind that reshaped our understanding of life on Earth. The journey into Darwin's coded thoughts continues, a quiet exploration of the vast landscape of human intellect. If the hidden corners of history and science intrigue you, consider following this channel for further dives into the remarkable details that often lie just beyond the spotlight. There are always more stories waiting in the archive.